This is my son Jaden, and what I was telling Jaden, do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who is it?
Hulk Hogan.
Hello.
Wow, that's strong, brother. That's
Hey,
strong.
man, did you ever think when you first went into the ring, and when you think about WrestleMania 1, did you think that this many years later, that kids that weren't even on the shelf to be sent down from heaven would know exactly who you are?
Dude, it blows my mind because, like, at 60 years young, to have your son look at you and say, Dad, I know who he is.
Yes.
He's Hulk Hogan. It's so cool because a lot of guys didn't last like me. You know, a lot of guys, I've been blessed, man. I am so grateful that this is happening. And now the way it's going, it's more intense than ever. When Vince McMahon and I started talking business this time, he says, brother. No, he didn't say brother. He said, Hogan. He goes, Hogan, this is going to be the biggest run you ever had. It went in one ear and out the other. But now that I'm back, kids like him, like your grandfather would bring you're bringing him, and all of a sudden there's just generation after generation. And not to throw this to the curb, but doing that reality show for a bunch of years, people know my dad, a father, a parent, da-da-da-da-da. There's a huge female demo now that are Hulkamaniacs because of that reality show. They're going, you know what? He's a dad and a father and all that stuff, but he's also a wrestler too. So now the moms are cool with me. So it's really neat how this has happened.
Now, how did you, and I'm pretty sure that this is somewhere, but I don't know the answer. How did you become Hulk Hogan? Was there any other wrestler names that you went through, like Johnny Big Fingers or?
No, yeah, oh yeah, brother.
You know?
I started out as Terry Boulder first.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if you remember.
Terry Boulder with the big shoulders.
That's it. And there was a wrestler named Brutus Beefcake.
Yes.
He had blonde hair and a mustache at the time we wrestled as brothers because neither one of us could put one foot in front of the other in the beginning.
Oh, that's great.
And then I went to Atlanta for a while on Channel 17, and there was a promoter that named me Sterling Golden. You know. And then when I went to Memphis, there was a show called the Incredible Hulk that came out, and I was wrestling as Terry Boulder, and I was actually bigger than Lou Ferrigno at the time, so it was kind of like Terry the Hulk Boulder, Jimmy. They started doing that to me in Memphis with Jimmy. Then when I went to New York, Vince Sr. was looking at me. And he had those shorty little glasses. And he's clicking his quarters. And Vince Sr., he had Chief Jay Strongbow for the Native Americans. He had Ivan Putski for the Polish Americans. Bruno Sammartino for the Italian Americans. Yes. You're going to be Hulk Hogan for the Irish Americans. And my manager, Fred Blassie, he had 3 bottles of red dye that Vince gave him, Vince Sr. He wants you to dye your hair red. I said, man, you crazy? I said, my hair's already falling out. I put that red dye on my hair, we'd be bald-headed tomorrow. So I didn't put the dye on, and I thought I was going to get fired, but I didn't.
Can you imagine if you would have committed to that red dye?
Oh, man, I'd have been living with that dream forever.
Oh, man. No. Well, they gave it to Sheamus.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Sheamus is cool, though. He can pull it off. I'd have looked like Carrot Top,
Go ahead, Dillo, Armadillo.
You know what's crazy is that Hulk Hogan has headlined 9 WrestleManias, and obviously the biggest one of them all, WrestleMania 3 with Andre. But what is your favorite WrestleMania moment?
Well, without a doubt, if I could only answer one, see, you're giving me the artistic liberty to actually open up a little bit. But, if there was one, it had to be Andre.
Right.
Because, a lot of times you go in there and, the wrestling's predetermined. We know who's going to win or lose, And one of the things that kills me more than anything is when people say that wrestling's fake.
Right.
Because we know who's going to win or lose, but I'm here to tell you, after 2 knee replacements, 2 hip replacements, and 9 back surgeries, if this is fake, I missed it somewhere along the line, okay?
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about this business. So it's very physical. But the one thing that I loved about WrestleMania 3 was Andre had just had a huge back surgery, and he was really, really heavy. And they billed him at 500, but he was over 6 all the time.
Damn.
And so he was really heavy, and he was my friend at that time. And I sat in the dressing room with him the whole time. I kept wanting to know who's going to win or lose this match because I always did. Don't worry. Okay, Andre. And I sat there for a couple more hours. Andre, what do you want to do out there in the ring? Don't worry. I'm like, oh, my God, he's in a bad mood. Right before we went out to the ring, I go, Andre, am I going up or down? Because it's fine with me. I'm cool, man. Whatever. Me wrestling him makes me
So
a bigger
you don't
starter.
know a
No,
day
and it was the
before
first time this happened, ever. And so Andre we get ready to go out about 2 hours. So I said, Andre, what are we going to do? What's the ending of the match? Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I go out in the ring going, man, I'm worried. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So he was
Especially
cool in the
somebody
ring,
don't
really
worry.
heavy-handed, you know, and he was getting ready to pass his torch to me, and I didn't know it. And right towards the end of the match, he goes, slam. And I went, what? He goes, slam. And I went, okay. I barely got him, and then I turned him, and then when I slammed him, he had me drop the leg on him, and he let me win. So it was that was my favorite.
So
Because
it was just as energetic for you as it was for the crowd because you were only a few seconds ahead of us.
brother, I was jitterbugging. I was scared to death.
Man.
And I really didn't know, you know, that he was. But he had talked to Vince earlier, and I think it was just one more final test for me with him. Mm-hmm. You know, but that was my favorite. If I had to say one, the other one would be when I wrestled The Rock and I came back as Hollywood, the bad guy gangsters with all my boys, the black beard, man. I was just ripping people up and chopping meat, man. I was just tearing it up. Had Rodman and the whole crew.
Oh, my Lord.
We were horrible.
Right,
We were the
right.
most evil people ever. And when I went out in front of the Sky Dome in front of 80,000 people, they cheered me out of the building because they were so loyal. Mm-hmm. And the fans said, you cannot tell us who to hate and who to love. And I
heard
wrestled
that.
The Rock, and they just cheered me. It was just unbelievable.
Did you feel like that was taken away from your character or the franchise also, though? Like, you hear the people cheering, but did you know that they were going to cheer? Like
I wasn't sure, but see, there was like the 90s was like kind of an attitude era where the training, the prayers, and the vitamins. The 80s was way cool, a good message. And then all of a sudden, people started punking me out, you know, and the training players and vitamins, you know, we've heard that before. Whatever. So, like, the 90s had an edge. It was an attitude era, you know. Mm. And even the WWE had that attitude era with Stone Cold Steve Austin drinking beers and doing the crazy stuff, you know. And I just didn't know what to expect. But when I came back, I'd been gone so long. I'd been working for another company, Ted Turner. And when I came back, I was kind of like the black sheep, man. I mean, even as far as the other wrestlers, I was the official enemy.
Wow.
For years
You
and
could feel
years. And that, we're feeling it. I'm coming back in that locker room. I'm really feeling it. But I had my boys with me, Nash and Hall, you know. We kind of were doing our thing. And when I went out to that ring, the fans just showed how loyal they were. That was the other moment, brother.
Yeah,
So
that was a ridiculous moment.
We got Hulk Hogan in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.
Boy.